Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we're back with another Total War Warhammer 3 DLC speculation video. Today we'll be looking at the second part of the Thrones of Chaos, which gives a host of new heroes, specifically for the Empire but also for the Border Princes and a new unit for the free city of Marienburg. So with that, this video is actually going to cover a multitude of factions. It's unknown if they'll actually be coming into Total War Warhammer or whether or not they'll actually be in their respective factions and not just lumped in with the Empire, but we'll go in through that. One important thing to note is that this video is very heavy on lords and heroes and not so much on units, so it might be possible that we'll see a few of them, but maybe not all of them. It really depends on how Creative Assembly want to go through this if they do look towards the Thrones of Chaos. But without further ado, let's begin. First, we'll look towards the Castellon engineer Gibraltar and his Null Ironsides. More than likely themselves, the Ironsides would probably be created as a regiment renowned, seeing that they are pretty much just handgunners with heavy armor and just a bit of better ability to shoot. They could actually just re-roll the hit rolls of 1, so they'll probably be given better accuracy if anything. But Gibraltar himself could be a unique hero who buffs up anything to do with black powder weaponry. He is an engineer after all, and naturally he would be able to buff up the Hellblaster volley guns, basic handgunners, motors, and pretty much anything else to do with black powder weaponry. It would be interesting to have, especially if something that you could buff up one specific army to make them rather unique. Especially in late game where pretty much all the armies look like the same old doom stacks. Next we have Fyodor, who rides upon a very large demigryph known as Reaper. Fyodor is a tremendous hand-to-hand fighter and his stats prove it. He's normally got more attacks than most, he's quite fast, very high weapon skill. Honestly, it's a character that you'd like to see as a lord. He would be unbreakable on the battlefield and fight until his last dying breath, with an interesting thing happening after he dies, where there would be a magical explosion and anything around would take wounds. He is essentially an Imperial suicide bomber, but he died protecting the country he loves, and he would do so again if he had the chance. This man was fiercely loyal to his province, and it's someone that I'd like to see represented in Total War Warhammer, just because of that. The last hero choice we have for the Empire is actually Elspeth. She is the Dark Lady of Null, a lore master in the lore of death who rides atop a Carmine dragon. She is an interesting character. Many see her to be on her own devices, but in truth she actually protects the Empire with her own very heart. Honestly, it would be super cool to have a named character that uses the lore of death in the Empire, and not only that, but given the fact that we'll see the Carmine dragon has a special mount, which is something that is actually tied to her, this possible DLC pack could be the perfect way to start introducing the Imperial Zoo and actually having dragons and other forms of monsters being able to be recruited by the Empire. Dragons within the Empire, whilst rare, are actually heard of, so it would actually be interesting seeing that happening. I wouldn't mind if it was just her with the mount, because if that's the case, then she'd be very unique towards the heroes of the Empire, and it would be very interesting to see a Carmine dragon in the actual game. But with that, we've looked towards everything that's actually in this book for the Empire. Now we have 2 units to look towards Marienburg. I just want to state here, it's very unlikely that Marienburg will be created as its own DLC pack. Maybe we'll get Marienburg as a Southern Realms thing, considering the fact that they pretty much are just the Empire, just seceded. And while they did have some separate lore and units, particularly that in stuff in Mordheim and so on, it's very unlikely that they'll get a fully fleshed army. Or they'll make these units recruitable by the Empire should they capture Marienburg, which might actually be a cool thing. But with that, we move towards the first unit, which is the Marienburg Landship. This is my absolute personal favorite unit in this book. This unit should be very fast, but only when moving in a direct straight line. Instead, if it's going to turn and so on, it should slow down tremendously. It's got an attached cannon on the top, and a crew that also fires with their respective guns. Think of this as a steam tank, however when it does die it should blow up and make a rather large explosion. So if you see it getting very close to low health, you should probably ram it into your nearest enemy and fast. Honestly, I've always loved this model, and a lot of people see it as a ridiculous thing, but hey, it's Warhammer. We have a lot of ridiculous things in this series. Now we move on to Captain Edvard and Menons Blades. Menons Blades themselves would pretty much be another regiment of renown, considering the fact that, yeah, they're pretty much swordsmen. They'd be stubborn and so on, but nothing too impressive with their stats, to be honest. Whereas Edvard himself, he's pretty much the same, but he would be a nice generic hero or even a lord. However, I'd like to see this character buff up melee units specifically, seeing how he himself is very hard to kill in close combat. He'll always parry despite whatever weapon he's using. It'll be kind of interesting to see him actually boost up some lower tiered units like swordsmen, halberdiers and so on and make them a bit more reliable, especially in late game. And while a lot of people might say that this is just pretty much a generic lord, I am very much in favor of having named characters boost up lower tier units and so on, instead of just boosting up late tier units, which, you know, it just goes to the whole everyone uses the same army round about the end of the game type of thing. But with that, we've looked at the Marienburg units, which may or may not be part of the Empire depending on stipulations within the DLC pack if this does get created into a DLC. Now, we look towards one Border Prince, Leopold the Black. Unfortunately, out of all the characters being mentioned in this video, I don't think that this character would be added in unless we have already got the Southern Realms. This character does not belong in the Empire. He's not part of the Empire, he's part of the Border Princes. Yes, he was actually created to be part of the Empire for this specific campaign, but lore-wise, he shouldn't really be here. He's a mercenary. This is a very special character, however, considering the fact that he's incredibly good at melee combat. He also boosts up cavalry units, and his natural ward save keeps him safe from pretty much any harm. In the tabletop, he actually had a 3+ ward save, which in most cases is very rare to see. So I assume in Total War Warhammer he'd also have a very high natural ward save. Other than that, he also has a very special rule, given the fact that he can recruit a free unit of outcasts to actually join his army, which would be considered Border Prince mercenaries. This could be a unit of Bretonnia, Ogre Kingdoms, or Dwarfs, which is actually really interesting. It could show that if a Border Prince faction does get made, we'll probably see some other different things coming into it. I doubt the Bretonnian one though, because considering the fact that Bretonnians really don't generally join up with mercenaries, but you know. That being said, I am one of those people who actually want the Border Princes and all these other factions to be made as their own separate factions, so maybe this is a lord choice for them in the case that they do get created. But what do you guys think about these lords, heroes, and units? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and let's start a little bit of a discussion, shall we? But with that, my friends, we've come to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, might I suggest giving the video a like, or even subscribing to the channel, as it really does help us out. In the description section below, we have a lot of links to various social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Discord, where you can get in contact with the Great Book team and chat to us about pretty much just anything. Also in the description below, we have an affiliate link with Element Games, where you could buy loads of Warhammer-based products and loads of other hobby products for 10 to 25% off. Using that link and also using our special code, which is also in the description, supports the channel at no extra cost to you, which we think is rather cool. A big thank you to our patrons. Your support means the world to us. Honestly, it's super cool that people want to actually help a small channel out, help us grow, and get to a level of quality which we deem acceptable. We're still trying to get there, guys. A special thank you to our patron Gibraltar LUSC for subscribing to us at the Fame level. Honestly, mate, you're super cool. And a big thank you to all of you for liking, viewing, commenting, everything with this video and all the other videos. You guys are really helping us get the word out, and we can't thank you guys enough, honestly. But with that, once again, thank you so much for watching, and we shall see you all again very soon. Have a good day.